But I have seen some bad games in my life. And I thought, okay, it has to snap into some decent offensive football at some point. I'm not going to say there wasn't some good defense because our defense played their butts off. But, man, that was as bad as offensive display as I have seen. And I am laying the blame. I don't do this very often. In fact, I don't do it hardly at all. But Jimmy Garoppolo was horrible. Like, what the heck? You do not, when you're a professional football player and quarterback, you know where the back of the end zone is. That was so outrageous. You know how many times I've seen that from a veteran quarterback? Just like
twice?
0.0 from a veteran quarterback. It's just the worst. Like, and while I was yelling, what are you thinking? He's throwing a pick six, so I'm rooting for safety. and then, you know, I got to say, and you know, since we got Jimmy, I've been pretty supportive of Jimmy, and I've tried to say so along the way. And he's not perfect. He's going to do one or two goofy things every game that you just. And we talked about this even when Trey was the starter. And I said, hey, just remember, the world isn't completely rosy with Jimmy in there. And I had one of my buddies over last night here in Texas, and I was explaining to him, hey, Jimmy can look good. Like the one drive in the second quarter looked pretty darn good, 75-yard drive, touchdown. Like, oh, we're going to smoke these guys. The Broncos are no good. And I told my buddy, yeah, you know, once or twice a game, Jimmy will do something that lets the other team back into it. And it's just a head scratcher. And he did a bunch last night. I tell you, that fumble, he was pulling away from the center too early. The pick into double, maybe triple coverage was just nasty. But I got to say, and I don't say this, I don't think I've ever said this before. After you play horrible and you're the reason that your team lost the game, you do not smile and laugh and go glad-handing the other team after a game. I have never seen that from any quarterback ever that's ever been any good. Steve Young, no way. Joe Montana, hell no. Brett Favre, no chance in heck. You think Russell Wilson is laughing after he throws a pick, steps out of the end zone for a safety and fumbles a ball and plays horrible and his team's 1-2 and he's the reason he lost the game? I've never seen that. It almost looked like he didn't even care. It was so frustrating. Maybe I was just mad because the game was so ugly. But if that's me, I'm running for the locker room. I am not smiling. I'm not talking to anybody for a week if you play like that. So maybe I just don't get his disposition. But that was really frustrating.